Well, before I proceed, now, as you can see, was Donald taking the documents criminal? Now, I don't know exactly what I'm looking for here, and I never really looked into this, but the problem is that all you people ever do is defend Donald and carry on about Hunter's laptop. Well, that's not, well, how do I put this? It's semi-related, I guess. Same idea. Now, you guys never really mention any specifics or details about this shit. You just carry on, oh, Donald, not guilty, witch hunt, whatever. You guys never make any points. You guys never make nothing. It's just defense. It's all it ever is with you guys. So, with that said, all I can really tell you in particular is that if you don't agree with, or if you haven't had any idea, if you have any ideas on what a better search would be, by all means let me know, and I'll upload another video. This is what I'm thinking. Instead of asking you, I probably should have asked you beforehand, but I don't know. Okay, so was Donald taking the documents criminal? Was he criminal to take the documents? Pleaded not guilty. Okay, so there's 37 federal criminal charges going on here. Now, I guess maybe I should just look into those, but okay, so you're saying that Donald was allowed to take these documents, while my question's always been, did he take them during or after his presidency? And apparently that's not relevant. You never explain why. Well, I admit I'm not American either, so apparently each president has the right to take the documents. But I'm not sure, well, it doesn't matter what I agree with, how I feel about it, obviously, but okay, Trump documents case, okay, all this is about the charges. I'm not interested in this yet, so I'm probably not going to get an answer for this. Was Donald allowed to take the documents? Go.com. I'm just going to go for whatever has the most authority on Google's first page. That's how I did my book, and that's how I'm going to do this. Of course, nobody's ever read or listened to my audiobooks, so that's beside the point. Trump makes legal claims about classified documents. Experts push back. Fact check. Okay, so what we got here? Earlier this week, former President Donald Trump speaking to supporters at hours after his arraignment. Okay, so this is all about the arraignment. So this isn't going to answer my question. Was Donald allowed to take the documents? The reason why presidents can't keep their White House records dates. Okay, so maybe this has some answers. For the first 2 centuries of U.S. history, outgoing presidents simply took their documents with them when they left the White House. The materials were considered their personal property. Okay, so my mistake would have to be that I didn't know that they were his personal stuff during his presidency. I don't know anything about documents. Okay, so that would be my error. I'll admit that. But for the past 4 decades, every presidential document, from notebook doodles to top secret security plans, is supposed to go directly to the National Archives, I think it's archives. I can never get that word fucking right. The pronunciation of it. The material is considered the property of the American people. I would have to agree with that, because we're talking about, it's not his personal stuff. It has to do with, he's representing the whole country. That's what a president does. So everything he does in the White House has everything to do with the country. So I have to agree with that. I don't like it, but that's just the way it is. Because, especially America, they are a very influential country in the world. You know this. We both know this. Very dangerous shit. Very serious. And I'm apparently that's what the charges are about, because he's putting other countries at risk. So, yeah, that answers that question, though. No, he's not allowed to take those for that reason. Property of the American people. He's representing those people. So when former President Donald Trump left office in 2021, all his records should have traveled from the White House to the National Archives, according to Jason R. Barron, who served as Director of Litigation in the National Archives for 13 years. Okay, so maybe I'm wrong again. If this says according to, I don't know who this guy is. Well, I should look it up. Look him up. Information studies. Joined the UN. So he's only a professor? Okay, counsel at the Justice Department. Served as a trial attorney and senior counsel at the Justice Department, where they litigated landmark lawsuits involving White House records, and was the first appointed director of Okay, so maybe this guy does have some credibility. I don't know. I'm just well, the problem is I can't just pass it on to you because I don't trust you. You're a MAGA person, and I already know what you guys are all about, but whatever. I'm probably wasting my time doing this, but I did say I would do it, so. No president has the right to retain presidential records after he or she leaves office, and so it is an extraordinary circumstance if presidential records are found in the former president's residence or anywhere else under his control. Okay, and so it is an extraordinary circumstance. Okay, so what's the extraordinary circumstance in this case? But some records, both paper and electronic, are being kept at Trump's Mar-a-Lago resort in Palm Beach, Florida. Officials found 15 boxes worth of documents. And going by the videos I've seen recently, there are far more than fucking 15 boxes. And on Monday, the FBI collected 11 more of the sets of documents, including 5 marked top secret, 3 marked secret, and yeah. In addition, this isn't really saying much. It's just what was there. The warrant that authorized the search said the FBI was investigating. Okay, the warrant. Look into that also. Read the full warrant documents from FBI search of Trump's Mar-a-Lago home. And this is what Marjorie Taylor Greene would say is a witch hunt. This is why she's calling for the FBI to be defunded. Because they did something she doesn't like, and what you agree with because you suck her tits. Because you're all a bunch of simps for her. You can never explain why, you just are. Fighters, he's a patriot. How? That's all you guys ever fucking say. FBI agents received multiple sets of classified documents from former President Trump's Mar-a-Lago home in Florida. Yeah. The search warrant and property receipts documents show agents seized papers with include at least 3 items labeled miscellaneous top secret documents. Also retrieved were multiple binders of... Okay, this is all just what was there. I'm not interested in that shit. Get to the fucking point. This is NPR.org. I think I read many articles from these guys for my book. So I don't know. Okay. United States District Court, Southern District. Okay, so do I even need to look at this? I mean, I could say that this proves that the search was lawful, but you guys have your own opinions on everything. You guys have the attitude, MAGA has the attitude that it's all about your opinion. Everything's wrong if you say it's wrong. Everything's right if you say so. The constitutional is subjective according to you guys. So I don't know. Okay, so why can't presidents keep their documents these days? Rules change for one reason: Watergate. Okay, so we have an actual reason now. Something I'm just learning for myself right now, and probably you are also. When Nixon resigned amid the he wanted to take his documents. So he wants to hide his shit, basically, which is what Donald is trying to do. Congress realized they would not have access to that material there, and they also feared it could be destroyed. So, yeah, naturally. Now, understand that I'm not saying that Donald Trump is the only guilty president of anything. Of course, Joe Biden is. I'm not saying that every other president is. I don't like any president. I'll say that right now. Because, well, not even because of their criminal bullshit, but because you guys don't want what's best for the whole country, for the people. You guys want life to be as hard as possible. And you tend to blame everybody for their problems. It can never be the economy. The economy can never be flawed. It's always everyone's own fucking fault. No matter what fucking happens, you are at fault. And you will pull yourselves up. You know, that's your fucking attitude. That's not working together. I mean, of course, you probably don't like that idea either. Okay, actually, taking a detour here. Now, suppose socialized healthcare and education were both theft, wrong and immoral. They are, in fact, communist or socialist or whatever the fuck you want. Well, they are socialism, but you want to label them as just communism and evil and whatever. Suppose healthcare was more affordable. The price gouging was not going on. Not the, like, you guys never bring that up. It's always just shitting on the socialized aspect of it. What if the price gouging never happened? If everything was reasonably priced, and education also? Would you guys want that? How would you guys feel about that? Would you still come down on well, what if all problems stopped? If everybody was doing better? If the economy was stabilized in that manner? All dishonest capitalist nonsense all stopped. What would you think of that? But anyway, continuing on here. However, that measure applied to Nixon only. What? In 1978, Congress passed the more sweeping Presidential Records Act. This measure applied to Nixon only. Why the fuck? That doesn't make any sense. Presidential Records Act of 1978. Governs the official records of presidents and vice presidents that were created and received after. Okay, so you guys come down on Joe Biden a lot, or you bring that up. Apparently he wasn't allowed at all. The vice president is not allowed, but according to this, he is. Why would the vice president be included in this document if that's not right at all for the vice president? That were created and received after 1981. Beginning with the Reagan administration, the PRA changed the legal ownership of the official records of the president from private to public, and established a new statutory structure under the presidents, and subsequently NARA must manage the records. Okay, what? Change the legal ownership of the official records from private to public. Okay, so they become public. Okay. Governs the official. I'm just making sure I'm reading this all right. Governs the official records of presidents and that were created or received after. Okay, so this has nothing to do with this. Well, I guess it doesn't matter whether it's before or during or after the presidency. Change the legal ownership of the. Yeah. Okay, so private to public. Right there. And established a new statutory structure under the presidents and subsequently NARA must manage the records of their administrations. I'm not sure what that means, but structure under the presidents and subsequently NARA must manage the records. What? I don't know what that means. What's to manage? I mean, if some of the records are indicative of guilt in criminal acts, I don't know what management has to do with that. Establish. Well, let's put it this way. Donald taking the documents, instead of just leaving them there, indicates guilt of some criminal activity, don't you think? Establishes public ownership of all presidential records and defines the term presidential records. Okay, so it's saying that it's establishing public ownership. It's making everything public. Requires a vice presidential records. I'm getting tired here. Be treated in the same way as. Okay. So Joe. When was Joe vice president? He was president during Obama's, right? So that was definitely in the 2000s, was it not? So he was allowed to do it. You guys are full of shit on that. This debunks that your accusation against him. Unless I'm missing something. But again, that's why you tell me. That's the whole point of this. Leave a comment in the reply on GETTR. Places the responsibility for the custody and management of incumbent presidential records with the I don't know what this incumbent means. I don't know the definition of that word. Requires that the president and his staff take all practical steps to file personal records separately from the presidential records. For personal records, but nothing he does as president. That is everybody's business, because he's for them. He got elected by the voters, by the people. Not all people, but the voting people, the people. So that only makes sense. It's everybody's right to know. That's basically saying, those guys elected him. They have a right to know what he's doing. Don't you agree with that? So, put them back. Did he make copies of them to take home? He made copies of all that shit. How many boxes did he have? I didn't even count. It looked like about 100. He took about 100 boxes home to his Mar-a-Lago. That's a lot of fucking. What, for this whole entire term? What the fuck? Allows the incumbent president to dispose of records that no longer have administrative, historical information or whatever. Are we talking about such files here? Okay, I think I've covered enough about this shit. The PRA. Yeah, I think I'm gonna stop this video right here. I don't think there's really anything more to look up. I think I've confirmed that he was not allowed to take those things home. Now, this does say that it only applied to Nixon, but did that change? Did anybody challenge this PRA since? If not, well then what valid argument do you have against this shit? Any of you MAGA types. Maybe you should have done that before. So no, the FBI going into the Mar-a-Lago to search was warranted and illegal, unlike what Marjorie Taylor Greene says. Which I don't like calling her that because she's divorced unless Taylor is her fucking middle name. Well, that's why I don't like using it either. 2 fucking names, that's all you fucking need. Every president, when they leave office, those records that have been created by the president and his staff and blah 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 go to National Archives. And I agree. Again, it's not really a matter of what I agree, but it only makes sense. He's there for the people. That means that all of those documents representing his presidency are the people's business. And if you don't agree with that, well, maybe you should get the hell out of the country. Yeah, 22 minutes in, yeah, that's enough.